I can start the scenery. And I keep changing my mind which section of scenery I'm going to do, but yeah, I will get to that eventually. But I want trains moving. Once the trains are moving, I can do the next bit. And then when that bit's done, I can do the next bit. And when that bit's done, I can do the next bit. So it's... And occasionally there may be situations where I can't do any more of this because I need to buy a thing and there's none available right now, so I can move on to the next bit and do that. And once that's done, I can go back to the bit that I had to stop doing. Alright, that's over here. I will set you off on the worker. And really I can't see any weeds in this, so I wouldn't even try doing this myself. Okay. This guy's all done. And a part of all the getting the train stuff up and running is I went and found my old camcorder, digital camcorder. Had to buy a new battery and charger because I have no idea where the old charger is. But now I have 2 batteries and 1 charger. And I can take videos of trains going down the track, which might be fun. And I might post them to YouTube. But yeah, things are moving on, and it gives me something else to do that's not sitting on my butt at the computer's head on the screen. Because quite frankly, that can get uncomfortable at times. Okay, do you think I could do this myself? That seems good. For some reason it's not showing, but it's working. But then the other thing about model trains is they ain't cheap. They really ain't cheap. So there we go. And since I'm doing English trains, they're really not cheap because I have to import them. So of course there's been lots of research on how tariffs work. But the big thing with that is if you are importing something and it's less than $800 and it's for personal use, then there's no tariff on that. So that's good. Now, if I want to import something from China, forget it. That would be a bad plan. Also, if I'm buying, that's the thing, if I'm buying European stuff from a US model store, it's actually more expensive because they have already paid for the transit. Now, while their transit might be cheaper because they're transporting lots of stuff, mine's going to be relatively expensive per piece because I'm paying shipping rates for a very small package. But the more you ship, the cheaper it kind of becomes. It costs me as much to ship one thing as it does to ship 10 things. And the more you ship, the cheaper per piece it gets. Now, retail outlets import tons of stuff, but it's not for personal use, and it's usually over $800 in value, so they're paying the tariff. So when you add the tariff onto everything, now it becomes cheaper for me to import stuff and pay the shipping than it does for me to buy the stuff locally that's had a tariff added to it. So I've got, and every time I go shopping for generic supplies as opposed to specifically UK stuff, I have to check the US model shops, see if they've got any in stock and how much shipping from New York, Colorado, wherever the store is. And then I have to check my UK retail outlets and say, okay, and how much are you selling this stuff for, and is it more is it cheaper for me to ship from you, in spite of the fact your shipping costs are way more than shipping from New York, California, wherever. I mean, I've been shipping stuff out from California and its postage is free for the amount. I'm ordering a high value, low weight item, so they just say, we'll ship that to you for free if you use normal mail. But I think the supplies they have at the moment weren't tariffed, so I'm still getting a good deal on that. But once they've sold out and they have to order some more from Europe, that's going to have a tariff on it. The prices, I expect the price to go up, at which point it might be cheaper for me to either look at the manufacturer or look at retail outlets in Europe that are selling them. Although I do know one of the manufacturers in Europe has turned around and said, we ain't shipping to America. And it's like, well, I don't see why, because I can, but for them, they've said the reason we're not shipping to America is because stuff gets stuck in customs, and then the customer gets upset because it's stuck in customs. There's nothing we can do about it, but we don't need the hassle. So it is what it is. How am I doing? That's second headland. I guess at the moment I can actually see the weeds here, so I don't mind doing this manually. That other field, can't see the weeds for the crop, so just gonna work my way around this field. And that weeding contract is really going to pay out well, although it's probably going to take most of today for the worker to do it. I think, apart from the amount of money I had to spend today, which I wasn't expecting to, didn't think we needed a hoe. We had to get one. Do that. I know, I'm not proud. And then all the consumables, liquid fertilizer and the like. That cost us a fair bit. But we are now down to... Well, our fields are done. And all I really have to worry about now is wait till harvest. Then we're going to have to lease a harvester, which means I am going to need to earn a lot of money quickly. Again, as per normal, we're probably going to go first 2 to 3 harvests without a harvester of our own. We'll just get a contractor in to come and harvest our fields, and then from there we'll sell the crop, and then maybe next year we'll get a harvester. Typically, first harvester I get is usually a used vehicle, so we just haven't had any come up on the... I might be lying there. I might have had one came up, but it was like the Lexian 800, and it's, yeah, that's too big, too expensive. Don't need one of those. Plus, the only the only crop I had last year was sunflowers, and there weren't any small sunflower or corn headers for the tiny harvester, the tiniest of the harvesters. So it's like, yeah, I need something. I needed something a little bit bigger. But I do now have some... Did I add them to the games? I can't remember. I am going to look that up right away. Corn headers. Yes, I've added the tiny corn headers. This does not have a combinations button, but this is like 3.4 meters. We can run it off something like that. Maybe that. I think that one comes, no, back, combinations. That one does come with one. I think that was the one we ended up using, was with the small fold-up header. But that one, back up, combinations, there's just a header. That one, combinations, just a draper. That one, oh, that one does work with that. That's good to know. But you're talking 285. I don't have that kind of money. And that one just comes with the normal small header. So kind of stuck for, and if I need to harvest corn or sunflowers, I think there's another crop that those work on. But you kind of want a mid-size for that. But that's fine. I will probably end up with a mid-size harvester anyway, because these are big fields. And so having a reasonable sized harvester is going to mean it doesn't take too long to get the job done. I've also added the Cressoni folding drapers, which were available in FarmSim 22 as a mod, are now available in FarmSim 25. So for a map like this, you need headers like that, because there is just no way you're going to haul a 40-foot header trailer to a field and then be able to get it through the gate in order to attach to the front of the harvester. Now you can drive through the hedges on this map so long as there's not a fence in them, but it's a big job. So we'll be sticking with the Cressonis like we did in Glenleithan. Also a tight map. Wish I could go back to Lawfolds now, because Lawfolds, especially Lawfolds 19, we played Lawfolds in 17. Lawfolds in 19 wasn't done by the original modder, but somebody did get permission to redo the map, and the original modder said, yes you can, but you can't release it unless I say you can. So, you know, it was because it was a farm either he grew up on or grew up near, and he wanted the map to reflect his childhood. So, you know, yes you can do it, but yeah, you can't destroy my memories type of thing, and I don't mind that. But the 22 map, not the 22, the 19 map, the farm tracks were a little bit wider, and the gates were recessed, so they weren't on the hedge line, they were slightly back from the edge of the hedge, and it made getting in and out of the fields much easier. I didn't play it because I just spent 3 years playing Lawfold 17 and had a lot of fun on that map, but it was like, yeah, I played it. I don't need to play it again. But at this stage of the game, it's been so long since I played Lawfolds, I probably wouldn't mind playing another series on it. But we're not going to see Lawfolds again. I don't even know if we're going to see the Old Stream Farm. I mean, that has been a staple for many versions of Farming Simulator. I played it on 17, it was on 19, it was on 22, and they were all subtly different. The map got bigger, the base farm remained mostly the same, but yeah, it was like a few years had gone by and the old dealership had gone bust, and there was a new modern John Deere dealership. Yeah, it was a progression map. It wasn't one that, you know, if you played it in 17, it's exactly the same in 19. It's not. It was a little bit different every time. But I haven't heard sight nor sound of whether we're going to see an Old Stream Farm for 25, or maybe, is it the Valley, the old farm? Never really gave that one much time. But again, I do like Black Sheep's maps, but the only thing I've really seen from Black Sheep for 25 is equipment mods. Let's lift that up. Okay, we are done with all of our fields. Yay! Check the map and see what's happening. So we have needs rolled, was mulched, And it was mulch because that was the one that had sunflowers on. This we bought it clear. This one had red beets on it, and doesn't leave a lot to be mulched. Plus that one has a whole bunch of stones on it that can't do anything without a stone picker. Might get one, don't know. And everything is fully fertilized, so I am happy with what we've got up to. Let's have a look at bale wrapping. I don't have a bale wrapper. Don't have the mower thing. I could do, so Farmland 3 is north side of the map. Farmland 12 is somewhere. Farm things. That is just to the north. That's the tractor that's doing the thing. Hodge173, welcome. Hi, not seen you in a while, but yeah, we're doing okay. So let's have a look at field 12 is up here. And what was the other one? Field 6. Where is field 6? Field 6 is over. I don't know. 3. Okay. Let's try field 3. Field 3 is. Not in that block. Okay, that's there. There's field 3. Field 3 is a good size, but that's where the store is. That's the farm that's in the way of the road. No, is that? That's the farm that's in the way of the road. You could go up there. Yeah. I am thinking that maybe it's time to do some mowing. It's 10:43, so got a while. Got nothing better to do. This tractor is in good condition. We'll drop the hoe there. Let's go find the mower. What's that thing? Oh, that's the windrower. Don't need the windrower. What I might do is put that with the baler. Okay, that looks fine. I'm going to fetch the mower. Okay, let's pick a contract. There was one just to the north of us. We'll get that one done first. I think there's actually 2 to the north of us, but we'll do them as they happen, I think. So, contracts, there is 39. I'll do that one. And I believe 12 was at the top of there, so we could put that one up. Uh, 12. Accept contract. Alrighty, let's go see places. And then we could do the tedding contract. Maybe if the RC Shift 6 does finish hoeing, weeding, whatever it's doing. I'll set that up on the tedder. We'll go and send that out to take that field. The problem with the grass contracts these days is they're contracts to mow, contracts to ted or not ted, contracts, I think there are contracts to windrow, and then there are contracts to bale only and wrap only. And so kind of the little bit of an issue there is if you have a baler wrapper, you can't do the wrapping contracts. Now, I could go and buy myself a wrapper. But, for right now, I don't. Yeah, I use the fast bale, so I can wrap and bale simultaneously. And how do I get to that one? Should have gone the other way. I might be able to work myself through the forest. Well, this is all going to be not as straightforward as I thought it was going to be. I'm sure there's another way to get back from here. So oh, I see the gate. I also see a bunch of... Is there a fence there? It looks like there's a fence there, so that's a problem. Looks like there's a fence there. No, there's no fence there. Okay. Okay, we're in the field. That's sorted that out. Yeah, the gate's over here. So right now, all we have to do is run around this field, and it really doesn't take long. Ooh.